And welcome. I'm Laura Live Namasturm Yoga. Join me today for a vigorous Vinyasa flow yoga home practice. Let yourself bring your hands to your knees, let your shoulders stack over your hips, let your head float up on top of the neck, close your eyes, tuning into your breath here. Take these first few moments really just to check in, see how you're doing, see how you're feeling. And as you bring awareness to your breath, and as your body starts to slow down, maybe bring to mind what your intention could be for this practice tonight. What makes sense to you, or what kind of calls out to you, really? What are you looking for from your practice? And then set that, just so that maybe this practice isn't exactly the same as every other practice. You can shift it with your intention if you want to. Just like today is not the same day as any other day. So just give yourself that permission to maybe approach your practice in a new way, so that it doesn't have the same exact feel as it has before. There's nothing wrong with practicing out of habit. I think it can be great to establish that habit. But even within that, there maybe is always space to bring something new. So see if that's available to you. And then we're just gonna take another moment in stillness, kind of check in. You can choose to shift to the Ujjayi practice at any point here. And then let's move to tabletop, setting up on hands and knees for a few cat-cow stretches. Following your Ujjayi, just notice how everything feels today. Your back, your neck, you might even start to notice what's going on with your shoulders and hips just a little. And after a few rounds of straight forward cat-cow stretch, give yourself a little freedom to move in alternate ways. So keep your hands and knees where they are, but allow your hips to move to your heels, or your elbows to bend, or your chest to drop down. Maybe your feet pick up behind you. You can roll your head around on your neck, drop your chest, shift from side to side. Those are just a few options, but our range of motion is we have a lot of directions we can go. So it's very open. Feel like you're free to move in a way that feels good, or maybe that feels new or different or unexplored. And then if you feel like you've been working with something on one side and you want to make sure that you get symmetrical, make sure to take care of the other side. And then we're just gonna walk the hands back and come up to our knees and step the right foot all the way forward. So coming to a low lunge here with the left knee remaining on the mat, sink your hips forward towards the front heel and take your arms up into the air. Energy through the fingers, softness in the shoulders, a little weight pressing down into the top of the back foot. That's it. And then let's take the left hand to the ground, right inside that right foot. Take the right arm up. Just a simple twist here. As much as you can open. So as much as this feels good, you can let your chest roll towards the ceiling. And then keeping the shoulders stacked, tuck your back toes, straighten out the back leg to float that back knee up off the ground. And then turning to your mat, plant your palms. Let's step right to plank. Shoulders over wrists, reaching through the heels, long back of the neck, strong through the center of the body. And then let's just drop the knees to the floor. Walk the hands back, and on an inhale, reach the arms out and up. Interlace the fingers and press the palms towards the ceiling, just on your knees, pushing the knees down, lifting the hands up. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, let the hands go, and we'll step the left foot forward. So we're going to go to the lunge on that other side. Let the knee move over the ankle. Let the hips move forward towards the front heel. And then taking the arms up. You can also bring them behind the hands behind the head if that feels good to you. So feel free to vary your arm position based on what's going to do the most for you at this moment in time. Sit. And then taking the right hand down to the mat inside the left foot, take the left arm up for a twist. And then tucking the back toes, straightening out the back leg to bring the back knee off the ground. Turn back to the mat and step to plank once more. Couple of breaths here. And this time we're going to lower to the mat, so maybe bring the heels forward over the balls of the feet as you bend the elbows, chaturanga. You might choose to bend the knees and drop those down first. Heart between hands, and then keeping the elbows by the sides and the hands next to the chest. Come on up, either a little baby cobra with just the chest lifting, or full cobra. Arms start to straighten without locking the elbows. Still soft, legs behind you, space between the shoulders and ears. Breathe. And then finally, downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, move the heart back, elongate the arms and spine, and take a little time working the legs. Bending one knee, let the opposite leg straighten. And you can stay on one side for several breaths and then move to the other side. If you like to just kind of bop out more quickly, that's okay. But feel free to stretch your body in a way that makes sense here. Warming up this pose, this resting pose, which is kind of our home base for practice. We want to feel like this is going to be a place where we can find some ease as we come back here throughout. And then let's walk the hands back to the feet and come to dangling at the back of the mat. So the feet should naturally be about hip distance apart here because we were just in down dog, so you can leave them in that same alignment. Soft knees, let the upper body hang. Just dangling. You can grab the elbows, you can sway the torso, you can nod the head if you like. And then letting the elbows go, bend the knees a little more and start to roll up to standing, stacking the spine. Move shoulders back and down into place here. And inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the legs. Bend the knees at the bottom. Inhale, roll on up. And exhale, dive down. One more time. Inhale, come up. This time, as you exhale, diving down, take the right leg up behind you so that we're coming to a standing split. And if you're like me and don't have a lot of space behind you, just be careful that you're not kicking anything. We are at the back of the mat here. Standing split on the left with the right leg in the air. And then from here, we're going to move to down dog split by walking the hands to the front of the mat now, keeping the right leg up in the air, trying to keep that long line of the torso and arms as you transition. Rotate the right thigh to face the mat so that the hips are nice and square here. Lift from the heel. And then look forward, step forward, all the way up, crescent pose, high lunge, floating up. Finding your balance, your stability, the strength in the legs. Steady the gaze. Now keeping the front knee bent, we're going to step the back foot forward and come to chair pose. Utkatasana at the top of the mat. Feet together, knees together. And then from chair, exhale Uttanasana, straighten the legs. Inhale Ardha. And then here's a Vinyasa to go back to down dog. So step to plank, lower Chaturanga or modified. And then inhale Cobra, or you could take up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of resting breaths in down dog, pushing the hands forward and down and lengthening the upper body as you inhale. Maybe finding a little bit of depth, a little bit more depth, I could say, as you exhale. Good, good. All right, let's walk the hands to the back of the mat once more. All the way back, coming back to dangling, and then soften the knees, and right away we're going to roll up, and we'll take 3 more up downs. Rolling up, inhale, exhale, swan dive forward, bend the knees at the bottom, come up, and forward. Follow your own breath, so don't worry if you're not exactly the same pace as me. And then the third time we fold, see if you can also take the left leg up in the air, so you're coming to a standing split on the right leg, left leg rises, torso folds to the right. And then starting to walk the hands forward, moving to down dog split. Hands reach the top of the mat, left leg stays in the air, roll your left thigh to face the floor. Still breathing, still long and dynamic in the body. And then look forward, step forward to crescent pose, high lunge, second side. Float the body up. Find your pose. Straighten out that back leg to strengthen and keep the pose from collapsing. Try to keep the torso upright as well if possible. And then once again, we're going to step forward to chair pose, Utkatasana. So keeping the front knee bent, bring the feet together, knees together at the top of the mat, holding, weight on the heels. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. And then through Vinyasa, all the way back to downward facing dog. Modify as needed. We're going to take the right leg up, open the hip and bend the top knee, pointing the knee to the sky. Turn that low body open. And then we're going to look forward, step forward. Let's come to warrior one. Bring the back heel down. Coming up. So we're actually prepping for sun B before we've done a series of sun A's. We will get there. So if you're like, where are my sun A's? We'll get there. But let's take warrior one and bring the palms together. Look up to the thumbs as you lunge. And then hands to the floor. Travel through Vinyasa to get back to downward facing dog. So the Vinyasas are still here, right? So that's the foundation of sun A's, but we keep them in sun B as well. Let's take the left leg up, open the hip and bend the top knee. Think of trying to stretch the front of the left quad here. Shoulders can stay level. And then when you're ready, look forward, step forward with the left foot, right heel pivots down, warrior one, side two. You might choose to bring palms together and look up. This is optional. Of course, when we start to flow through our sun Bs, everything is just one breath per movement. But this is our first warrior one on this side, so we take a little more time. And then hands to the mat. Travel through Vinyasa. Here it can be one breath per movement. Follow the flow. Take a few breaths in downward facing dog to rest. We're going to start to move into a flow, and we're going to keep things flowing for several minutes because we're going to do some sun Bs and then we're going to flow into some sun As. So see if you can use down dog to rest if you need to. You can always spend more time there. When you're ready, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step walk or hop the feet forward. Half lift, fold, and then we're going to take chair pose. So take Utkatasana on an inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. And Vinyasa. Head back to downward facing dog. This is our first full sun salutation B. Following the breath from down dog. Inhale the right leg up into the air. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Inhale for warrior one, nice and strong. Exhale, right to Chaturanga Dandasana or modified version. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left side, lift the leg. Inhale, exhale, step it forward. Warrior one. High to low plank. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Take one inhale here. Exhale, step walk or hop forward. Ardha Uttanasana to Uttanasana. Utkatasana, chair pose. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Let's take one more time through the entire cycle. Follow the pace of your own breath here, so I'm not going to cue this one, but it's the same exact thing we just did. And then once we complete the sun B, we're going to come back to the top of the mat, take one more Utkatasana, and then from chair pose, we're going to go to standing and then sun A, so flowing right into it. Inhale, exhale Uttanasana, inhale Ardha, and then exhale high to low plank. So no more warrior ones, sun A, just the basic form. 1 to 5 breaths in down dog. When you're ready to move on, make your way back to the top of the mat. And of course there are variations and modifications that can be done here, so if you want to throw in a push-up and make this a power vinyasa, feel free. If you feel like you'd like to modify your vinyasa, you can also do that. Anything else that's right for you, but see if you can just find your rhythm and follow your flow. We're going to take this for a couple more minutes here. This is where we get a little warm. It should feel good though. If it's starting to feel like too much, find a way to slow it down or take it a little easier. up in downward facing dog. The next time you get there, just let yourself hold. You can rest there. You could rest in child's pose if you need to, but we'll add on to our sequence in just a moment. All right, so from here, let's take the right leg up, square hip down dog split. Take an extra breath with the leg in the air. And then on an exhale, knee to chest, shoulders forward over the wrists. Follow the breath here. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale, right knee to right outer upper arm. So you can just tap your tricep. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale, right knee to left arm. Tap. Inhale, down dog split. And then exhale, we're gonna step the right foot forward, take weight to the right foot, and pick up the left leg in front, find balance. So see if you can come to that, pulling the left knee up into your chest. From here, let's move to tree pose, vrikshasana, taking the sole of the left foot to the upper inner right thigh. If it doesn't hang there, bring it down below your knee to your inner calf. Press palms together, or take arms up. Find your balance, steady your gaze and your breath. From here, we're going to release and step out wide to warrior two. So let your arms open out as you step your left foot back, lining your back arch with the front heel. Arms come down, front knee is bent. Look over those front fingertips and breathe. Turn the front palm up, reverse your warrior. Stretch back, keep lunging forward. And cartwheel hands to the mat. Take a vinyasa. If you've had enough vinyasas at this point, you can skip them all from here on out, or you can skip them every now and then. So don't feel like you have to do every single one. When you're down in down dog, let's take the left leg up and hold it for a breath in a nice squared off down dog split. One more inhale here, and then exhale, knee to chest, shoulders forward over the wrists. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale, left knee to outer upper arm. Inhale, down dog split. Follow your own breath here. Exhale, the knee's gonna come to the right, and we kind of know where we're going now on this side. So when we're ready, we're gonna step that left foot forward, take the weight to it, and then pick up the right leg behind you and bring it up and forward. Find your balance, holding your leg into your chest. Breathe. That's it, awesome. And then transitioning to tree pose, vrikshasana. Sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh, toes point down, trying to avoid foot pressure against the inner knee and even toe pressure. Foot all the way above or all the way below. Take the arms up. And then releasing the foot from your thigh, step it back. Warrior two on the left. Lunge and open the arms. Front heel aligns with back arch. Arms down at shoulder height, looking over those front fingers. Trying to align hips in that open position. Breathe. And turning the front palm up, stretch back, reverse, reverse. Yes. And cartwheel hands to the floor. Vinyasa. Heading back to down dog. We're going to flow into a little dancing warrior sequence from here. So keep them with some classic standing poses. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward between the hands, starting with warrior one on an inhale. Exhaling to warrior two. Inhale, reverse, and then let's move to extended side angle. Forearm to thigh, top arm overhead alongside the ear. Feel free to deepen the pose by dropping the right hand to the outside of the right foot if you would like, trying to extend the diagonal and keeping it nice and long if possible. So rather than having the hip bump up out of it, Do your best. And then root down with the feet. Keep your front knee bent as you reverse your warrior. And then hands to the floor. Vinyasa. Let's go to the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring it forward. Warrior poses. Warrior 1 to warrior 2 to reverse. And good old extended side angle. Trying to mirror about what you did on the first side. If the other side is not as willing, listen to your body, but do what you can. And then floating up to reverse the warrior again and transitioning out of the cycle through vinyasa or without vinyasa to downward facing dog and hold. From down dog, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Half lift. Fold, bend the knees for chair pose, Utkatasana, and then we're going to sit back for boat pose, Navasana. So lowering sit bones to the ground, bringing the feet up as soon as you're able to balance. Keep the heart lifted. And then feet to the mat, back to chair pose, Utkatasana. Come on up. Now, palms together, keep the knees bent. We're going to cross the left ankle onto the right thigh. So just pick it up and see if you can make that little 4 shape. Sink the hips down, keep the chest up and lifted for now. Now from here, allow yourself to fold in and see if you can find a bit of a stretch for the left hip or glute area as you continue to maintain your balance. Optional, if you're feeling it, take a little twist to the right. Maybe using your right hand on that left foot and seeing if you can bring your left outer upper arm to the sole of the foot. Press palms, turn the body. Steady your gaze to help yourself out. From here, we're going to transition to half moon pose. So you're going to come out of your twist, take the right fingers down to the mat, and then open everything, kind of almost like you're twisting the other way from what we just did. Floating into half moon, extending the limbs out and away. And then bend the front knee, step back nice and long. We're going to come up to warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior, and then straighten the front leg. Let's move to triangle pose, Trikonasana. Maybe back of the hand against the inner shin, shoulders stack, look up towards your top thumb. And then stretch back, reverse it. We're going to come to another standing split here. So fingertips to the ground, float the left leg into the air just for a moment, but reach it really high and then lower it down behind you for pyramid pose. Heel to the ground, fold your torso in. And then lifting up a little bit, lengthen the torso, reach the head away from the tail. Left fingers plant and right arm reaches up, revolve triangle. And one last pose in this sequence because we're right in alignment to do it. Revolve half moon. Left fingers come forward, transfer the weight to that right foot. Float the left one up. Limbs extend. Forward, back, up, down. And then from here, let yourself step back long. Plant the palms. Vinyasa to get back to down dog. Hold and breathe just for a moment or two. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Once again, let's drop to the sit bones for boat pose, Navasana. Find your way up. Lift. And we're just going to repeat everything on the second side. So feet to the mat, chair pose, Utkatasana. This time standing on the left foot. Palms come together, right ankle crosses onto the thigh. Staying upright at first, gazing forward. Sinking the hips a little bit more if you can. And then the main aim of this fold is just to find that nice deep stretch for the right hip. But as we get lower, we also get a little more compact, lower to the ground, so the balance might become easier. But let's not bring fingertips to the ground if you want to challenge yourself. Taking that twist, trying to bring your right arm into the sole of the left foot. Use your left hand to help you, that's okay. But then once that arm is there, palms can press. And then we're going to move to half moon. So staying on the left foot, left fingers are going to come down, and then like going the other way, everything's just going to unwind, untwist, open and extend out and away. Ardha Chandrasana. Bend the front knee to step back long. Warrior two, trying to land softly. Inhale, reverse. Straightening the front leg. Let's take triangle. Trikonasana. Leaning head and shoulders back. Trying to elongate the sides of the torso. And then reach back, fingertips to the floor, brief standing split, lift the right leg as high as it will go, and then let it come down behind you for pyramid. So it's not as far back as it would be for a lunge. The front leg stays straight, the hips stay as square as you can get them, and fold into that left. Now, lifting and lengthening, reaching the head away. Revolve triangle. Right fingertips stay down, left arm comes up, body rotates. Think about still moving your left hip back and down so that the twist is really in the torso. The legs, the low body is stable. And then revolve half moon when you're ready. So right fingers forward, and you're just going to kind of lean into it. Pop that right leg up and behind you. And stepping back, plant the palms, and let's lower all the way to the mat now. Bringing the heart down between the hands. And then bow pose, yes, Dhanurasana. Bend your knees, reach the hands back for feet. If you can grab the ankles without the knees going wide, you could do that and flex the feet. Shoulder blades on the back, lift on up. Two more breaths if you can. bend, then laying yourself down. Bring your hands back next to your chest. Cobra pose. Heart opens. And child's pose. Hips to heels. Lengthening the arms out, forehead to the floor. Let's slide the hands back, coming onto our knees. Keep the hips back on your heels. Let's take rabbit pose here. So we're going to take the hands, interlace fingers behind the back, shoulder blades together and down. And then keeping hips on the heels, reach forward, trying to get the forehead to come to the floor. Arms can start to move up and over. And then once the forehead's down, just rolling it to the top of the head, the hips will come up over the knees, reach your arms out and away. And rolling back out, rolling back to your forehead, allowing hips to return to the heels, hands to the waist. Come all the way up onto your knees. You can keep the hands behind you. Camel pose, Ustrasana. Finding another back bend here. Hands to heels. You can tuck your toes if that will make it easier. Chin in or head back. And supporting your waist to come on up. Let's drop all the way down to the left hip. And we're just going to take a little twist to counter our back bends and start to wind it down here pretty quickly. So a short little cool down from a little bit of a vigorous practice. Right knee up, use the left arm around or past and twist over the right shoulder. It is important to start to let our muscles kind of slow down and relax after they've been activated. So that's really what some of these stretches, these final twists and forward folds are for. So instead of feeling like you still have to work hard and crank into them, see if you can find a way to take it easy, slow down, and bring some calm here into the practice. And then we'll untwist from that direction and change it up. Right leg under, left one over, using your right arm, twisting to the left. And come on out. Let's go ahead and move to Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees wide, heels tuck in. Let the knees just really drop kind of on their own. You can use your hands on your feet, and if you want to open the inner edges of the feet, you can. Certainly there are different variations or different little small instructions that can go along with this pose. So find the form that seems the most right for you right now. Let's come on up, take the legs out, shake them a little bit. We're going to take a little reverse plank here, so with the hands behind you, fingers can point whatever direction you want, so they could be in or out. Shoulder blades tuck in, on your heels, lift up, point the toes. And then as you lower down, come down slowly. The feet are going to flex The legs return to the mat, nice and straight, hips come down. Keep the heart lifted. Start to walk the hands into place next to your sides. Dandasana, staff pose. This actually is a pretty strong dynamic pose. We've got effort in our legs and we've got a little bit of upright action, energy in the upper body. Let's inhale, reach the arms out and up. Let's interlace the fingers and press the palms. But now, as we go into the fold, we're going to let go of the energy in the arms and the upper body, almost like we're a balloon deflating or a rag doll just dropping down. Allow that upper body to let go and give in to gravity. And you'll begin to feel the stretch. As your body's able to release, you'll start to notice you're naturally sinking closer to your legs. Rather than trying to push yourself closer to your legs, hoping that will make you stretch more. Just give in here, let go. And then walk the hands back. Come on up. Shake out those legs. And come back to a nice, easy, cross-legged, seated position. Sukhasana. Hands to knees. Adjust if you need to. And then just bring the palms together in front of the heart. Close the eyes. Tune into the breath for the last moment or two of practice here. Notice how you're feeling. Has anything shifted? The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thank you so very much for joining me today and sharing this practice. Namaste. I do encourage a Shavasana practice as the way to complete your practice. So go ahead and make your way to your mat now. Lay down, let your body go. If you need to do any last finishing poses, hugging knees to chest, a little happy baby, something like that, give yourself a moment for anything that would prep you, but then really try to release to the floor, let go of all effort, and just enjoy a few minutes of stillness. After that, you can come back and like this video, give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I'd love to have you join me for more practices in the future. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below as well. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye and namaste.